Well, welcome to the OA podcast where we have a lot of opinions, but most of them are pretty average. I'm Monica.
Hey, everybody, I'm Anna. Today's episode, we're going to talk about back to school. Mon and I aren't actually in school, but we just wanted to talk about when we were in school, elementary, middle school, high school, and maybe a little bit of college. And we just kind of wanted to, everyone is like at this point, I think back, but the last couple of weeks have been really interesting hearing all of our friends and family getting their kids ready and all that kind of stuff. So we just wanted to kind of discuss that topic and maybe get a little nostalgic. So, yeah.
Nothing like reminiscing on old school
Of all
memories.
things.
As we like to do in the beginning of most of our episodes, we like to discuss an OA thing about ourselves. It's just something that, you guys can get to know us a little bit better. Honestly, sometimes if it's new information, sometimes me and Anna get to know each
I
other a little
know.
bit better.
And for this one, it'll be a new question because we both don't know at this
We
point.
both don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's an OA thing about yourselves? Have you thought of one? I'm still thinking
No,
of
I mean
one.
like an OA thing when it comes to like school. Do you mean
Mm,
like, okay.
yeah, something about
Um,
school. One OA thing about me. It just like popped into my head. I think it was around elementary school. I remember being one of the very first kids at my school to have a roller backpack.
oh, Mon.
In elementary school, it was really cool, okay?
Oh, I was not aware of that. Okay.
At least in my school.
But you
And
know what? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
and I mean, my OA thing is that my classmates thought it was so cool
Oh,
that they
wow.
wanted to take turns rolling
Rolling
my
it.
backpack around.
That,
You
you
know
know
who
what?
you are if you're listening to
Yeah.
this.
You know what? That kind of just shows. Okay. So you gave me an idea, but
Mhm,
that's so like for me, like I always thought like I was way older by the time
mhm.
that trend came out. Like there was no rolling backpacks back in my day, maybe rolling like
No.
rocks or whatever. But like of course that's something I think that I related to like nerdy people. And I feel like you are like such a smart person. And I like look up to you in that sense. Like I think you're just very, very smart in everything you do. So it like tracks for you.
Yeah, no.
Like in a
I
good
carried
way, you know?
I carried a
Hey,
lot of books for some reason
yeah,
in,
like
elementary school.
hello, like have we as older people know like carrying heavy things on your back causes back pain? So
Not good
like
for you.
yeah, you were like
See?
smart.
I was
Yeah.
looking out for myself since I was,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
10. I don't know how old
Yeah.
I
That
was.
totally reminds me of like when Noah, my son, was in like junior high and high school. His backpack was like, like I'm like, what is in this backpack? That it's like he could barely like
Big
carry it, and I would always be like so worried. But okay, this is hilarious, and it like
mhm.
shows our age
Yeah.
difference. But so the OA thing about me was that
Uh.
I was the first kid in school that had a cell phone when I was like, this is
Oh!
like when cell phones were just in people's cars and like it wasn't like it was a brick. Like, do you guys remember like I don't know
Oh my
those of you
gosh.
that watch like Saved by the Bell,
Mhm,
but like it
mhm.
was like Zach Morris's like brick of a phone. But
How
like
did
I
you
remember,
carry it?
yeah, exactly. I have no idea
You
that
needed a
we
roller backpack. I'm just
yes,
kidding.
exactly. But like I remember I was like one of the and of course you think you're so freaking cool to have a cell phone.
Just
But I think I was one of the first ones, if not the first one to have one. And it was like my dad's phone. It wasn't even mine. I just wanted to bring it to school
uh
because I thought it was cool. Oh my god. I just totally showed my age.
Uh,
But yeah.
well, so did I with my roller backpack. So that's fun. Well, that's our OA thing about us. We'd love to hear what an OA thing is
Yes. Please
about you
share.
regarding school. Please
Yeah.
tell us how not as cool as you are now. 'Cause I know everyone has like their awkward stage in school.
Yeah, of
Unless
course. Yeah.
you're like cool from the get-go, tell us an OA thing about yourselves.
Yeah.
from that era, because I would like to think that we are still completely different people. We've grown from that, but we'll
Yeah,
get
I
into
think
that.
so. Yeah, yeah, we'll get into that.
We'll
Like, we
get
don't
into that.
care. Like, we don't I don't care if I'm cool or not. I don't care if I
The
have a iPhone. I don't even know what I have anymore, but it's definitely not the 16, and I don't
No.
care. Yeah.
What are we talking about today? We are
Okay.
talking about, obviously, yes, back to school.
Mhm.
And yeah, well, we're not going to talk about like us actually going to classes or whatever,
Yeah.
since we were talking about our differences in our age or like a time of
Mhm.
when we were students. I
Yeah.
was interested in like, what kind of student were you, Anna, when
Can't
you
you
were in school?
tell? I was not great. I
What
mean,
do
you should be able to
you
tell.
mean?
Okay, so hilariously, not hilariously, but like I feel like I could always tell
Mhm.
that you are like a very good student and you're very smart. I mean, you're a
Does that
scientist.
translate to something else? Like, yeah, goody two shoes,
But I mean,
nerd.
like, I feel like I don't know, like, I was not a good student. I got good grade not, like, average grades, like, I got, like, the A's, B's, and C's, but more in the B, like, range. I wasn't, like, a great student or anything like that. Ironically, as I got, like, older, like, I finished college later. I had Noah when I was really young, so I finished
Mhm,
college a bit later than, an average person. Usually people finish college, like, in their early 20s. I did not. But it was just like in college, I was like smarter. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was like I took it very seriously. I think like but I do have to say, like, as a grown adult, I completely recognize how important it is to get good grades. Like, it's such a big thing. Like,
mm,
I feel like I'm like really into, I guess you could say, in education. I work in higher education. I think a lot of people know that, but it's just like, to get those good grades in high school, to get into a good college and to like get your degree. I'm like a
mhm.
huge like supporter of that, which is so funny because I didn't give a shit in high school. Like, I didn't care. I didn't know it was important, but like I totally regret like not getting good grades when I was young. But
Interesting.
yeah. And I could also say we, like Av and I, went
Mhm.
hard on Noah with that kind of stuff, which is like sad because like we didn't,
Yeah.
it was like we didn't do it ourselves, but
Oh,
we were like those Asian parents that like really push their kid. But I feel like it paid off because he did really well. So I'm okay
he's
with
a
it.
good kid.
Yeah, I'm okay
Uh,
with it.
I would like to think though that, good grades didn't really correlate to like who he is as a person, I would say, but it does like help with, good habits and all of that
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. But
Organization,
yeah,
prioritization, I guess stuff like
right.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Um, I mean, it's funny that you say that because yes, I was your imagination of
Assumption.
me when I yeah, my your assumption of me when I was in school. I was very much a nerd. All I did was basically school and study. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't have any parties. I barely did
Wow.
sleepovers. I didn't date and all of that stuff. And I was very pressured, similarly, to get straight A's.
So we were
Um,
like you with Noah, like your
mhm.
parents were like,
And, ironically or contrarily, I actually disagree. I don't think grades didn't really matter.
"Wow, that's so
I
crazy that we feel like," you know what I mean? Like, we were like, we're opposite. Like, I partied h you know this, like, I partied hard when I was
we
younger.
talked about this.
Yeah,
I talk about how I actually wish that I actually did more of those things when
yeah,
I was younger, and that I didn't put so much stress on myself to be a straight A person because
yeah.
I felt like those A's and the higher GPA, it didn't really pay off. It's sure I
Really?
got into school, I didn't get into the program that I wanted to, because even though you're textbook smart on paper, the GPA is high. If you're not like if your personality doesn't show, which I lacked because I wasn't social
Aw.
enough, and like all I knew was just studying and whatever, like, I couldn't speak of my character to people who wanted to bring me to the program or
Right,
whatever.
right.
So I failed on that account, which meant all of the work that I did to
Oh,
study for those tests and exams and report cards and whatever, um, I felt like I could have totally balanced that out more. I didn't mean like I should be like a C student or not
mhm.
try at all, but I felt like grades, straight A's weren't everything.
Yeah, you could have had, like, a little bit more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And yeah, I feel like always striving for the straight A's, although it's like a great goal to have, but literally only putting that pressure on yourself to only be A's and then anything below that was not good enough.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that
also,
puts
like
like a
yeah.
very
Yeah, that's a you're, like, just super hard on yourself
yeah,
at
and
that
that's
point.
carried on for myself
Mhm.
like to this
Yeah,
day. So
yeah.
I would say it's not
Yeah. Well, okay, so I do have to say that I think it honestly, like, for me personally, like, you being one of my best friends and, like,
Mhm.
spending so much time with you, like, I am very proud of you, even though I didn't know you, like, back then, but I just know, like, you just exude, like, intelligence. I can say that pretty confidently, and, like, I love your career, and, like, I know that you don't always love your career.
We'll get into that later. Maybe that's another
But,
episode.
I'm just, like, pretty in awe of you, so don't be
Oh,
too hard
you're
on
so
yourself.
sweet.
Like, I think you're
Thank
just
you.
such an amazing person. But I do okay, so on that topic, and this is not even on our thing, but, like,
Mhm.
you know, for who do we have, like, a do we have no, it's not us, but the boys
Mm.
have a German listener, right? So I think ours
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah.
Asia or whatever. Our
Yeah, I think
one
we have someone from
yeah.
Korea.
So what I do have to say for those that don't know, so our Korean listener, like here in California, schools are insanely difficult to get into colleges, good colleges.
Right.
And it has no like a 4.0, 4.2, 4.4 does not guarantee your admission in a good school. You know what I
No,
mean? I
absolutely
don't
not.
even know what it is, but it's just like it's really sad because it's like Mon said, like the kids work so like I witnessed this with Noah. Like he had really good grades, he was very well rounded and struggled to get into like a good college.
Mhm.
And it's the same story for like so many kids. It's like you almost have to be like elite to like get into those schools. So that's I know a topic for another time because it's so big. But
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I was telling Ab this yesterday, so you guys know I'm in higher education, but like it sucks because those schools to the in the heart of it, they're businesses. They need money.
absolutely.
So they often will take kids from out of state
Yeah.
and international because they pay way more than the students that are here in California. So they'll tend to like, I think like not look at those kids as like, finely as they do. So it sucks. It's very, very unfair. But
Yeah.
just like for you, Mon, like, like I hate to hear you say like, all of the A's are for nothing, but it's hard
Mhm.
here in our state to get into a
Absolutely.
good school. So that's one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, studying and having that discipline, it's great
Hmm.
for future things. I think it's just the way that they set up that system to the goal is to be in college because they promised you that if you get in college and you get a degree or a license or something, you're guaranteed a good job, which then means
Yes.
you'll get paid a lot and have a good life.
Yeah,
But
and
at
it's
least in California.
no, it it's crazy here, but okay,
Yeah.
we'll leave that for another
Right.
day. Let's lighten it up. So,
Yes.
the next topic we have is, school supply shopping, which is really cute, I think. So, I wanna share, like, I have a group chat with my, like, 3 friends from high school. It's like a daily group
Oh.
chat, and they
Mhm.
2 of the girls in this chat have school-age children still, and it's,
Mhm.
like, so like, in July, end of July, we start the chat. One of my girlfriends, her kids go back to school super early, like early August. Like that's always like my indication when she tells me like,
Yes.
oh, we have to get the kids ready for school. It's like, oh, summer's almost over type thing. But they go on and on about school shopping. So did you like school shopping? Like what was your experience? Did you like remember back in the day when like you would go there with your list and you'd go to Target? And I loved it. I loved it so much.
Yeah, I think that was probably the more exciting part of, like, starting school back up again, at least for me. My school, they didn't necessarily give us, like, those checklists or,
Mhm.
like, what to get. I feel like that's more
Really?
prominent, like, now. I
Mhm.
think back then, I don't know if it was, like, teachers just being more generous or the
Mhm.
schools were actually providing, supplies for their students.
Right, right.
They had, like, recommended things to have,
Mhm.
but I never felt like there were never enough school supplies in
Mhm.
class. But I remember always thinking, like, "Ooh, I get to go to, like, I guess we mainly went to Walmart or,
Mhm.
like, Target or something like
Mhm.
that, and it's, like, gonna get a fresh pack of Crayola crayons, some, colored pencils, a
Mhm.
really good pencil, depending on where I was in life, it was, like,
Mhm.
of course, getting a number 2 pencil because that's what
Yeah.
you use for a lot of exams.
I'm a
Um,
mechanical pencil kinda girl
I
myself.
am I'm a mechanical pencil. What kind of thickness is your
I
lead?
don't know. I don't think I remember at this point. Was there like a .002 or something like that? I don't know why that sticks out
Maybe
in my
point
head.
zero two. I think
Point
maybe
zero
was, like, a
two.
thing,
Yeah. Like
but
I
I
remember
was
a 2, like
well, there's number 2 pencil.
oh yeah, yeah. But no, like I remember the mechanical pencil was
Yeah,
like
I mean, I was a fan of the point zero 0.05 millimeter, so it's, like, a little bit
uh-huh.
smaller, thinner handwriting, whatever, but yes, getting, like, a few of those, but not too many because those were expensive, and then having a calculator, and then I just clearly remember having those pencil boxes, the,
Yes. Oh my god.
I
So
forget
cute.
what was the brand called? I just remember it was like a two-tone,
Was
colored.
it like mead? No, that's the notebook.
No, there's, like, another one. I forget, but it was, like, it had bumps on top and then the
Mhm.
name in the
Oh,
middle.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whatever that
It was
brand
like a
was.
plastic thing,
Yeah,
there was, like, bumps on it.
yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sensory issues, I don't
Yeah, yeah.
know. But I remember having that one and then putting all of my stuff in there, and I don't know, I just felt like I don't know if it was just an excuse to go shopping or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
that
yeah,
made it
for
feel, like,
sure.
really, really exciting,
Mhm,
and this is, like, your stuff to use for the year.
mhm.
Or you could have, like, if your parents were cool with it, to, like, have a really cool thing that you could, like, bring to school and be like, "Look what I got. I got
Yeah,
this cool
yeah.
eraser."
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
But, yeah, I really enjoyed that part, getting, like, planners or
Mhm,
notebooks
mhm.
and, sometimes getting, like, a new backpack or something, but after that, uh, I think we were usually, like, pretty done, buying school supplies for the year, so it's kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I don't feel like you bought it, like, throughout the year or anything like that. I feel like
no.
they usually, like, lasted or, like, wasn't a thing anymore, but, like, for me, like, you speak of, like, pencil boxes, like,
Mhm.
again, like, showing my age, but in my day or whatever, it was, like, the Hello Kitty, like, Hello Kitty pencil boxes, so my like, during my high school time, like, Karo Karopi was,
Mhm.
like, such a big that's a green frog for those that don't know, but, like, the pencil boxes were freaking sick. Like, they had all these things, like, like, like I remember, like, the sharpener, like, pulled out to the side. It was, like, a compartment that pulled
Oh,
out.
yeah, I
Yeah, and then,
remember
like,
those.
it would open, like, 2 ways, and, like, you would keep, like there was, like, slots for your pencils, and then there's like a little eraser, like,
Mhm.
space, and then you'd flip it over and you'd open the other side, and maybe like some scissors could fit in there, or
Oh,
like it was like almost
yeah.
like a bento box, right? A bento box of
Yeah.
like little gadgets.
Yeah.
So like I see on Instagram, they always like, it's background. So I asked my brother this the other day, like, is Hello Kitty like back? Was it always like this? And like
Mhm.
I just didn't pay attention for many years. Also because I had a boy grow, my son, he was not into Hello Kitty or those characters. But
Mhm.
like, I don't know, like it's everywhere again. I don't know, do you think it's always been like this? Av said he thinks it's because they collabed with so many different things, like so many other brands. Like right now, I don't know if you know, but they have a collab in Asia with Starbucks. and
They
there's,
have
like,
a yeah,
signs,
that
like
stuff looks so cool.
yeah, my cousins are texting me, like, asking our cousins in the Philippines to, like, the lines are insane, but
They're
it's, like,
insane.
super cute Hello Kitty stuff at Starbucks, or, like, they've just collabed with so many things,
They
so it
collabed
kind
with, Bruno Mars in Japan. They had, like, a little
What?
pop-up. If you haven't checked it out, you should
Oh
check it
my
out. It's going
god.
on right now, actually. I'm so sad that it's not gonna be there when we go to
Oh.
Japan, but, like, they have a pop-up in Japan, Shibuya, I believe, and,
Oh my god, that's probably
all of their merch is,
insane.
like, a Sanrio version of Bruno
Mhm.
Mars
Aw,
hanging out with Hello Kitty.
that's so cute.
It's crazy. I don't know if
Yeah,
they're just really good about, yeah, just making so many collaborations with big
yeah, yeah.
brands that everyone's like, "Oh my god, that is so cute."
Yeah, and it's not even just kids, like, it's just, like, my cousin pretends it's for her kid, but I know
Mm.
it's for her,
It's
like,
okay.
it's so and of course, like,
It's
people, like,
okay.
my age, your age are super like, Janelle, our good friend Janelle,
Hi,
I think she's,
Janelle.
like, super into Hello Kitty, so
Mhm,
it's cute, it's definitely cute, but for me, like, that's one of the memories that I have with school shopping was, like, Hello Kitty. For those that are from Daly City, like, there used to be a Hello Kitty in Ceremony Mall by the fountain that's no longer there, which is really sad. Something that I remember very fondly, not from my own thing, was
mhm,
taking Noah school shopping, and, I
mhm.
think I honestly loved it more than he did. Like, I don't think he cared that much. He's a boy, but it was just like he went to public school, so it was clothes and like school supplies, and I loved it so much. Like, it was our thing. But this is definitely like the time of the lists. Like in school, they would send them home with lists or whatever, and then we would just like go to Target and like go like to the mall or wherever and buy all his clothes. And I just got like such a kick out. It was like the best. The best.
Yeah.
I do but maybe again it's because it's shopping, right?
Right. I was gonna say it didn't feel, like, stressful or anything because I feel like now that whenever I do, walk by those back to school areas, like in
Mhm.
Target or whatever,
Oh, it's
it's
crazy.
crazy
Yeah.
or it's, like, cleared out already, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like
"Wait, when does
early in
school
the summer,
start?"
right? Like like
Yeah.
July, it seems like it's already like getting like low. My friends, when I talk to them, they seem stressed about it. Like it's
Mhm.
not like it's a different experience. I don't know if it's, they have multiple children. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, but I feel like everyone's busier these days anyway. So,
Mhm.
it's just another thing that like you have to do. So
Right. Right, and
yeah.
maybe it's like, yeah, teachers or schools now provide, like, you have to buy your kids your
Yeah,
own stuff, so
yeah,
it's, like, a little bit more of an urgency to get it before it
yeah.
sells out somewhere because your kid's not gonna have it,
Right, right. But,
but,
Mon, I wanna ask you, but
yeah,
before I do, I
yeah,
was gonna say, like, you were talking about, like, how there was, like, that cool thing that you would have that,
yeah.
like, other kids so I wanna bring up, like, my niece,
Uh-huh.
Lauren, she has you
Hi,
know what she
Lauren.
brings to school? Yes, I love her
What?
so much. But, like, she brings a freaking Trader Joe's cooler bag as her
Oh.
lunch bag, the pink one
Oh.
that I think I'm
Oh.
pretty sure I got it for her, but, like, I think her mom said, like, she's the only one that has one, and I know you guys all know
Wow.
the Trader Joe's hype. We just the
They just
canvas bags
restocked
yes,
the
they
mini
just
tote.
restocked. Yes, yes. But, like, that's I would be really excited if I had that or whatever, but yeah, very cool things. Um, Lauren and her brother also, like I saw this, like, little, like, meme or, like, clip or whatever, reel,
Mhm.
I guess, where the kids in school also have, like, Stanley mugs, like, mini Stanleys and all that stuff,
Oh.
and this person was like, "All these kids with these fancy, like, cups. I don't remember drinking
Mm.
water when I was that age."
I
Which
don't
is like,
remember.
I did not drink water. I
I
drank
mean, carrying
juice
water
or
bottles
like
nowadays is
yeah, it's
definitely new because of,
yeah,
like, the
for
Stanley
kids,
wave
right?
and
The
stuff.
kids, like
Yeah.
Lauren and her brother, like they have I've been there when they get ready for school and like they both have fancy like Yeti water bottles with their names like engraved on them or whatever. And they bring those to school. And it's like, I know that's very common. Like kids bring that to school these days. And it's just like, dang. No wonder the
Yeah.
parents are so stressed.
I always just went to the vending machine and got, like, a drink.
Yeah. Or the freaking, like, water like, what is that?
A water
But it's
fountain.
gross. It's gross. Like, yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
anyways. Oh,
I
yeah, and speaking of water fountain, now what we have, like where my place of business or like,
Mhm.
the school that I work at or whatever, we have the water bottle like dispense,
Oh,
the
yeah.
clean water, like the when you go to the airport, they have
Yeah.
those. Yeah, that's what we have. So
It's
maybe
fancy.
that's the
Standard.
new, yeah.
Well,
I
yeah,
would be sur
because I don't know that now that I think about it, like drinking from like a thing, and then
exactly.
some people pour their stuff. I
Yes,
don't
yes.
know. Ours was
Yeah.
always filthy, so I
Yeah.
never really drank
Yeah.
out of
I
those.
feel like that's a very common thing that those things are pretty freaking filthy.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, really quickly before we hop off of the back to school
Mhm,
supplies and how much we loved it,
mhm,
um, everyone bought notebooks. Now, I mean, there's different kinds of notebooks: spiral, composition notebook. I don't know. But usually, at least for us, we always bought, like, a pack of, like, variety colors,
mhm.
because the idea is, you have one color for a subject in school.
Right. Mhm.
Um, did you arrange a color to a specific subject? Or is that just me?
I think it
Because 'Cause
might
I'm a
have just
nerd.
been I think it might have been just you, but, what I do have to say is, like, I had when I was super young, it was, like, Trapper Keepers. I know you and I have talked about Trapper Keepers before, and I think I had to, like, show you what it was, like but
Remind
I
me
think
again.
they're back. They're back. So, what a
Remind me
trap
again what a
Mon,
trapper
when we
keeper is?
edit this, we should, like, put, like a visual.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
basically like a plastic like binder. Like so imagine like a binder, right?
Sure.
But it
Mhm.
had like it was like three flaps and it folded into itself. So it was that there was always like some sort of like animation, like a cartoony thing, like ponies or like tigers or a basketball or like,
Oh, yeah.
there was some, and I want to say they were probably licensed. So you probably saw like,
Lisa
Barbie ones
Frank.
or like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was a binder. So it had a three spire, the three rings inside
Yes.
it. So
Mhm.
I would put like those flat folders that had holes inside it. And I want to say like each folder was for a class, something like that is what I
Did you have a
remember.
color associated? Was there
I
any,
don't
like,
think I don't know,
color
was
coding?
yeah, but I don't think it was coded because the folders had graphics too. So it was not like plain. It was just like more
Oh,
like 90s or 80s, like,
okay. But then
rainbows and
there was no, like, rhyme or reason, like, why you chose one thing over the other
oh,
for certain.
tell me what yours is because I feel like
I
I'm
have
sure
I
you
have a
have one.
logic
Okay.
for certain colors.
Oh
So,
my
usually the
god.
colors you get, I think it was like a 5 color bundle
Mhm.
usually. And,
Yellow.
for reference, like, I always went for the spiral kinda notebook. I
Mhm.
didn't like composition notebooks because I can't, like,
Mm.
bend the covers back to back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I also would go college ruled always and
Yes,
not
always
wide
I
ruled
agree. I agree.
because, you didn't have enough lines on, like, one paper.
Yeah. And they're so big.
Yeah,
And yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know.
Okay.
The colors I believe were, like, black, blue, yellow, red, green. I don't know if
Yes.
there was purple, but those are the 5 main colors that I used to, like, remember always getting in,
Mhm.
like, bundles like that, or at least
Mhm.
I would pick specifically 5 different colors. Now, we usually had, like, 6 different classes, I think, 6 periods or whatever, and one of them is always PE, so you always, like, just needed 5. You didn't need a
Mhm.
notebook usually for PE unless you
Oh
had
my
that
god,
type
if
of.
you had a notebook for PE, I swear to God,
One of
I
our
feel like
PE
you might
teachers
have.
made us have one.
Yeah,
For
I feel
what?
like you
I don't
might have.
know. You know what it was? It was to have, like, your log that you did
Oh,
your
okay,
warm up
okay.
or whatever,
Right,
but it
right.
was
That makes
stupid.
sense.
Mm,
But I'm like,
that's
"Mon, come on."
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, that one I wasn't willing to get a notebook for. But, the other 5 periods, um, my logic was blue was always for math, whatever math class I was having that
Mhm.
year, it was always blue.
Is there, like, a reason?
In my head, that's just what I associate
Okay.
math with.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, whoever if you guys are listening out here, let me know if this is like if this was your logic or if you're much like Anna and you didn't care.
No.
Maybe this should have been my OA thing about me. Let's see. Green was always for science.
Wow.
Um, Yellow was always for English. Red was always for history class. And then black was always for, like, whatever leftover, like, if it was an extracurricular or
Mhm.
something or whatnot. I forget, is that what it is? Was there, like, another class that
Social
everyone.
studies is history, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, right? And then it was, like, an
Interesting.
elective, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
in high
saved.
school. Yeah, in high
Yeah.
school or junior high, you may have gotten an elective.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
like, if it was, like, in elementary school, it'd be just, like, the main 4.
Mhm.
When I had, like, the regular black one, I would save that for the elective separately. So, whenever I dug around in my huge backpack, I would know
But,
what
like, yeah, it's
color.
easy because you know which one to pull out,
Eh.
right? I would say I would make math blue because math gives me the blues.
Oh.
Math was
I'm
always, like,
clipping that. I'm
yeah,
clipping it
like,
for the.
math was always my worst, like, I hated math, and it's so funny
Oh.
because back in high school, my grandfather used to live with us, and he was
Mhm,
super smart, like, he is very accomplished and, like, super educated. He would do hardcore math problems. Well, he was, like, going blind. He would do
mhm.
hardcore math problems on his hand, and he would, like, teach me, like,
Uh,
like, freaking, like, calculus and stuff, like,
oh,
on yeah.
crap.
So, like, yeah. So, I don't
Shoot.
know where I went sideways with math because it definitely, like,
Math is blue
ran
because it
in my
gives me the
yeah, it
blues.
gives me the blues. But I loved, like, history was always, my favorite subject. Like, I'm
It was
still,
your
like
favorite?
yeah, I'm
I
still super, super
despised
into,
it.
like, history. Yeah, super into history now. Like,
Mhm,
I'm a history buff and all that kind of stuff. So,
mhm.
yeah.
Oh my
That makes sense
god.
though. It's very, like, smart, I feel like. So it's
I
like year after year, you would just know when you jumped in a class, like, oh, this is the notebook, like, you pull out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, okay, this isn't on our outline, but I have a question for you. Theoretically speaking, if we went to school at the same time and we went to the same school, do you think we'd be friends?
I feel like that's mean. That's a mean thing to ask.
Well,
Interesting.
I asked Jay the same thing because we didn't go
Mhm.
to, like, the same schools. We went to the
Mhm.
same college, but we never ran into each other until, like,
Mhm.
the very end when he was done. But I told him honestly, like, I don't think we would have at least, like, been friends or, like, dated at all if we did go to the
Mhm.
same school. I just feel like we
Yeah.
wouldn't have been, at least back then, compatible.
Right, right. It's all about time, right? Like where
For
you
sure.
are in your life. I don't know, like I like partied a lot like when I was in school. It was not like a great kid. Like I did a lot of like high school things. So I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Like but I'm glad we're friends now.
Yes. I mean, I think we both know the answer,
Yeah.
but we're
It's
not we're
okay.
it's
Yeah, it's okay.
okay. It's okay.
Yes. We're friends now. That's kind of funny.
Uh,
Okay.
that's funny. Okay.
Okay.
Um, let's see. I don't know. Do you want to talk about school uniforms?
I don't think we have to. I don't think
Okay,
we
because
do.
we didn't really, both of us didn't really like do that.
I went to private school.
Oh,
So, yes, I
right.
did. We can talk about it a little bit. So,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah.
let's talk about school uniforms because clearly we
Yes.
did have,
Yeah.
like, actually very different school experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, my school at the time, at least, did not have school uniforms
Mhm.
required. They did have, like, required PE uniforms, but not like every day you have to wear the
Mhm.
same polo shirt or skirt or pants, whatever.
Mhm.
That didn't actually become active in my school until after I left, so thank
Wow.
God.
So, it was a public school and they went to uniforms.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, wow. I remember seeing that a lot. I think it makes sense. Like, I think, like, okay, so we had different experiences. So I went to private school from like junior high through high
Mhm.
school, and
Mhm.
we had a uniform, and it was funny. Like in high school, it was like you always see the freshmen like sticking to the uniform,
Mhm,
had very
mhm.
nice, and by the time like you get older, we didn't give a fuck about the uniforms and we
Right.
would wear like
Mhm.
sweats under our skirts, which are like
Right.
is gross at like I it's actually gross at this point thinking that you would wear sweats under your skirt, but we did it
Mhm.
like but yeah, it was we definitely like but what I one thing I do remember is that like I remember my mom saying that they're super expensive. Like uniforms are
Ugh.
super expensive. My
For
friends
what
say that too.
reason?
Yeah, it's just like the skirt would be like $70, like the like vest would be like close to $100, and you would have like a white like button up underneath.
It's
Like
it
every, you need one unless you did laundry like several times a week, you need one every day. So that was
yeah,
really really expensive. But I guess like I could appreciate the fact that like you knew what you were going to wear every day, like you didn't have to put much thought into it and all that
true.
kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like, and I could share like for me, like I, raised Noah. He went to public school, but I feel like because he was a boy, it was like jeans and a t-shirt every day were like
He
fine.
had
Like
a
it wasn't,
uniform.
yeah, that was his uniform. But Mon, wait, did you like, were you one of those kids that like dressing up and like my one of my really good friends is like always considered her like a fashionista even when we were younger. And I feel
Mhm.
like her outfits, like when we were growing up, she didn't go to our private school till later. Like her
Mhm.
outfits are always like on point. And
Oh.
yeah, and like till now she dresses very very well. But like were you like into the clothes or you didn't care? I feel like I didn't care. Like even though I wore a uniform, like I really didn't care.
I dressed for more comfort because I was very insecure, so I dressed for more comfort and
Mhm,
coverage rather than, like, aesthetics. I'm admittedly was not a fashionista.
mhm,
I had a uniform-ish. I always wore a sweater or a long sleeve or a hoodie,
mhm.
and, I would always I mean, now that I think about it, it was more like what Ariana Grande does with her big old sleeves. It's like I was always, like, this.
Oh,
I always, like, covered, even though if it
mhm.
was the hottest day, I
Oh,
had my sleeves, like,
wow.
pulled over,
Mhm,
and, I wore a hoodie. I specifically wear in high school, and if there's anybody who's from high school, if you remember what I used to wear all the time, I had, like, this elemental I guess it was a skateboard brand. I wasn't into skateboarding, but for some reason, I had an elemental
mhm.
hoodie, and I just wore that, like, all the time.
Oh,
Looking back
wow.
at it now, I'm sure people thought it was weird because it's like, "Why are you wearing that again for, like, the 3rd time, like, during the week or
Well, we
something?"
do that as adults, though. I mean,
Oh,
like,
I do it
whenever
that
we
now.
yeah, like, whenever we hang out, I wear the same
But,
pajamas, like, every time, like but
school
back then, you're
kids
more
are so
conscious.
judgy.
Yeah, yeah, kids
Kids
are. Our
are
kids are
so
very good.
judgy, and if
Yeah.
anything, to this day, they're probably even 10 times more judgy. So, it's like, I can't
God,
imagine
it's
not
awful. Yeah.
trying to, like, look a certain way in
Right, right.
school. They have, like, so much makeup on now. I
Yeah,
didn't care
yeah.
about actually wearing makeup in school.
Yeah,
It wasn't
agreed,
until
yeah.
college.
Yeah.
And so it's like, maybe the whole school uniform thing is to that, yeah, it's easier for you to like get ready for school,
Mhm.
but it's also to like, standardize what everyone looks like so that no
Right,
one's
right.
like judged for what you wear or
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
wear.
I
Um,
did notice, like, I went to Target, like, this earlier this weekend, and they have, like, uniform items. So,
mhm,
like, they're very basic, but, like, a school could totally get away with, like, like, blue khaki pants,
sure.
like like a polo shirt, white polo shirts. I feel like they're very basic colors, like blue or gray and white, but they
Mhm,
have them for boys and girls. So it's probably easy for like the schools in the local area to adopt some sort of thing where, the kids just wear like the regular khakis with like
right,
a white top or whatever.
right,
That
yeah.
type of thing. So I don't disagree with it. Like, I know I always say like I had a lot of fun shopping with Noah, but like, I mean, you still have to shop for uniforms too. So
Mhm,
it would
yeah,
have like checked that box, I guess.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have mixed feelings about uniforms. I feel like I think an argument to have would be like it prevents kids from like, developing a personality through their
Yeah, and like
clothes.
expressing themselves, right?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people say. Yeah.
But it's like there's a fine line between expressing individuality or wearing the same thing that like everyone else is wearing so
Yeah.
that it's cool or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
are you wearing it because you like it and you want to express that as yourself?
Right. Or
Or are you
just
wearing it because
because.
the cool kids are
Yeah,
wearing
but
it?
I do have to say, like, as a person that wore a school uniform,
Mhm.
there's ways to individualize. They give you
I think
a
so.
lot of variety. So I remember when I was in high school, we had the plaid skirt, we also had khaki pants that you could wear in lieu of that. There
Mhm.
was a cardigan that was like,
Okay.
a sweater vest. And we
Right.
even had like a pullover. I know that's not a
Okay.
lot, but there's a lot of different ways. And then I think they even let you wear like whatever shoes you wanted. Like, of course, like everyone wore whatever backpacks. You could
Mhm,
have your
mhm.
hair any way you wanted and like accessorize and all that stuff. But like, there's ways to like,
They
um,
essentially gave you a capsule wardrobe
yes, yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah,
just alter it the way
yeah,
you want from there, but it was just so that, maybe people would wear or obscene stuff that's not
yes,
exactly so appropriate.
right.
So, if you do
But
wanna wear a skirt, don't wear the tiny mini skirt, wear
yeah,
the
yeah, that was always
acceptable one.
that was always a thing in the schools that I went to, especially in junior high, would be
Mhm.
the skirt lengths
Yes, it had to
because
be past your fingertips,
yeah,
right?
it was like 2 inches, like, it couldn't be any
Yeah.
more than, like, 2 inches above your knee or something
Oh,
like
oh,
that.
oh,
It
oh,
was,
oh.
like, a thing, just ironically, like, just to share, like, I follow, my school on social media, like, the high school that I went to,
Mhm.
social media, like, for back to school, I saw the girl it was an all-girls school, dude, they're like wearing like Dior shoes, like Chanel ballerina, like Goyard bags and like Chanel. I'm like, holy shit, like this is insane. Like there was
Yeah.
none of that when I was going there. And it wasn't even like I wasn't interested in designer stuff when I was in high school, but I honestly
Mhm.
don't think that was a thing for our age at the time. But now I'm like, wow, like this is
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's way too much, but,
I think so, yeah. It's a
kids
different
like to
time.
flex certain things,
Yeah, yeah.
and, I mean, sure, either you bought them, your mom bought them for you,
Oh,
your
yeah,
dad bought them for
for
you,
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
good for you, I guess? I
Mhm.
don't know, I feel like that doesn't really change my opinion of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess if, other people out there, if you have kids or you experienced yourself like wearing a school uniform, like how do you feel about it? I feel like it could go one way or the other depending on who you are. So
Mhm.
we'd love to hear like your average opinion.
Yes, yeah.
One more question to kind of like round off this
Mhm.
episode. I guess it's kind of like a deeper question. Um, I always thought about what schools should have taught me because I feel like they always leave out certain things that would have prepared me better for life in
Mhm.
general. So, not necessarily calculus, so that you
Right,
know how
right.
to do that, because
Mhm.
I totally apply that in my everyday life.
Mhm. Oh my god, you
I
do.
don't. I was joking.
Oh, I was like, "What?" No, but I thought like it's so funny? Noah
Yeah.
was talking about this yesterday about school and how
Yeah.
he's like, "It's all like a lot of it is BS. Like you never use
Yeah.
like I thought you were being serious because you're a
No.
scientist. So I thought you might actually be using calculus in
If I
everyday
was an
life."
engineer, maybe, but that would,
It's
like,
true.
literally apply, but,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, who's to say that you were gonna take calculus, but you didn't know if you were gonna become, uh, in a profession that was gonna
Yeah.
use calculus or
Right, right,
whatever.
right.
So, yeah, aside from, like, calculus or social studies or PE,
Mm.
is there something that you feel like school should have taught you? Whether I'd say, like, not college, because I feel like that was, like, really focused, like, towards
Yeah,
an
on your
actual
specific like,
thing.
yeah.
But, like, high school and before, like, is there something that you feel like school should have taught us?
I honestly, now that you like are putting it in a certain way where it's just like, I mean, the math give me the blues and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, like it really doesn't seem like it counts for anything, does it? Like, the
Mhm,
stuff that we learned. I think like I don't think I could answer that question because I don't think they do teach you like stuff that you
mm,
like can take away when it comes to like the actual subjects and
mhm.
like the subject matter. I guess like, but yeah, I disagree with you. Not I disagree with you, but I agree with you that in college it's super important because that's
Yeah,
prepares you for your career and stuff. But it
right.
seems like for high school and elementary school, it's like something that just we just go through just to like,
Mhm,
get us there. But I do have to say, and this is, I guess, like on a serious note, like for those people that like have like a really poor experience or like a sad
mhm.
experience in high school, which is
Yeah.
very common and very, very sad. Like
Mhm.
like what I would like to say I learned from it. Like this is not it. Like it is like you
Right.
remember that saying before, like it gets better. Like I feel like when we're in high school and junior high, that's your whole life and you feel
Yeah.
like everything matters so much, like your
Mhm.
friends and getting in fights with your friends and not talking to them, and boys and people that you're attracted to, and breakups and
Mhm.
girlfriends and boyfriends and stuff like it's not that it's nothing, but it gets so much better. Like, like you grow up, you go into your real life, and it's just like if you don't have the best time during those days, it's not the end. Like there's so much
Mhm.
more to life than that. But I do have to say, like, I have made like lifelong friends through
Yeah.
high school. Like I still have like a handful of friends that are still like my best friends to this day, that
Mhm.
I went to high school with. So for me, it was like overall a positive experience, but I know
Mhm.
that's not the case for like everybody. So that's, I think, how I would answer that question.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's good to, yeah, emphasize that although it feels like the school, elementary school, high school, feels like if something goes wrong, your life is over.
Yes. Oh my
It's
God.
so easy to feel that way, and I totally understand. And you think that like, well, this is going to be the same thing after high school, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
honestly, you grow so much
Yeah.
after high school. You still grow. We're still growing even after getting out of college, and
Right.
it's
Right.
just you know, if one door closes, another one opens, a
Yeah.
window opens,
Yeah.
something else comes along your way, and you kind of just take those things as they are. But like, I guess in the phrase of the question, um, I was thinking more like what kind of classes like I wish I took, or like what they did actually teach
Hmm.
in school. I know some schools, if they had the budget, they would teach like home ec and stuff
Hmm.
like that. I really wish that they standardized that in schools, like, every school did have that as much as,
Yeah.
like, they had PE, because
Yeah.
I
Like
wish I knew how
regular
to
life
sew.
skills. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I
Regular,
knew how
like,
to sew, I wish I knew how to cook basic
hmm,
things, I wish I
yeah.
knew how to, like, I don't know, do a little bit of woodworking or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and it's just, like, having those type of school skills, aside from just being, like, academically smart, but
Right.
being,
Right.
like, handy, I guess, street smart in some kind
Yeah.
of way?
Mon, what's funny? Like, I feel like I only ever saw home ec on TV and in
Right,
the movies. Like, you would watch those teen movies and there would be a home ec. But I agree with you because, like, for me, like, before Noah left for college, like, I would probably say, like, he probably didn't know how to do his laundry. He didn't
yeah,
know how to, like, do, like, those, like, a lot of basic things. So, like, teaching kids stuff like that, I, like, definitely, like, the cooking and all that kinda stuff, like, I agree with you, like, that kinda stuff is probably more important than, like, like, calculus or whatever. It
honestly, I
depends,
mean,
right?
if not home ec, because maybe they just expect your parents to,
Parents to
like,
teach
do
you, yeah.
that, but I think they should've, instead of teaching us calculus, they should've taught you credit cards and
Yeah, yeah. Or
loans and
another one that
taxes.
what I also see like in movies that I don't think here in California,
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, but like Shop, like with cars, you know how like they
Yeah.
teach people like how to change a tire or like how to change your oil or like basic
Mhm.
things like that. That is like a real like life like skill. But you're right, like,
Right.
about learning how to budget. I remember in our senior year, we had to
Mhm.
pair off, and there was this project where you like had to like go look and see, similar to this, like go look and see how much it would cost to rent an apartment, like
Yeah.
how, like how much it would be to like buy groceries or like, all
Right.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So that of course is like super useful. So
Yeah, because that's
yeah.
something you apply to your life on a daily basis
Right, right.
outside of school. And it's like, a lot of people are still out here Googling, oh, how do I pay my taxes?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, that's me.
exactly.
And I just don't feel confident in it because we never were taught it. We're just expected to learn as you
Yeah.
go.
Or
It's
you
like, well,
pay someone to
excuse
do
me.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
it's like, excuse me, I do not want to get penalized by the IRS
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right, right. Definitely, definitely.
But yeah, I feel like those are some things I feel like school could implement, that would much better benefit students and
Yeah.
people as they get older. But, that's my 2 cents. I don't know how much that costs, like, budget-wise.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we know, like, at least here in California, we always hear like the school budgets are very, very tight. They never
Mhm,
have money. They cut like extracurricular programs like music and art and all, which sucks.
mhm. As
So
if, like,
yeah.
that isn't beneficial to a human being, like, the
Right, right.
creative
Yeah,
side, and it's
exactly.
just, like, they don't wanna nurture those parts, or they wanna emphasize other things that it's like, "Oh, well, clearly they're gonna want this more in college."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, maybe I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go to college, so what
Right, right.
now?
Yeah, like, what if you're going to, like, a technical school to learn how to
Right.
become a mechanic or, like,
Yeah,
whatever,
and those are still very lucrative jobs. I wish I
Very,
knew
very
that too, that
yes, yes.
even if you don't get a degree, there are other
Other
ways to
things, yeah,
get a really good, decent
yeah,
income. Okay, maybe
yeah,
not like
or, like
doctors.
yeah, or, like, even these days, like, for example, like, all the stuff that we do online, like, learning
Mhm.
I mean, it's, like, content related, but, like, like, learning how to use Canva or, like, the
Yeah.
software, like, stuff like that, like,
Mhm.
digital media or
Yeah.
whatever is super, like, a thing now,
Right.
so, yeah.
There's so many more jobs. They definitely did not make it known how diverse your options were
Right,
after
right.
college, but it's like they wanted you to choose a career already to focus on in high school. And it's like all you know is nurse, doctor, firefighter,
Yeah,
policeman.
yeah, yeah,
And it's just like there's so many more things out of that. And
definitely.
I feel like if people knew that, they wouldn't feel so pressured to be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life.
Right, right.
There's so many things.
There's so many things.
There's so many things.
So hang in there,
Hang
everyone.
in there. Your high school, or anything before that, or even college, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
There's
there's
so
so
much
much
more.
more.
There's life after that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, well,
Yeah.
after our TED Talk.
Yes. Because 'cause we're experts.
Yeah. No, we're average.
Yeah.
Well, we are at the end of this episode, and if you've heard our average opinions on school. Now, again, we would love to hear from you. It's your turn to let us know your average opinion on going back to school, when you were in school, what your school experience was like. What was your favorite school supply?
Or, like, even, like, share with us, like, if you're a parent, like, how do is it
Yes,
stressful for you, like, getting your kids ready and back to
yes,
school and all that kinda stuff? So, share
yes.
with us anything.
Share with us. Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
love to hear them.
Yep.
Always, you can always send us an OA text message. There's always a
Mhm.
link of that in our description down
Mhm.
below. But you can also just send us a DM on Instagrams, or
Right, right.
on Threads, or you can comment on our post when we release like this
Mhm.
episode. We're
Mhm.
everywhere. We'd love to hear it. We've
Yes.
actually Oh, we need to do that. We
Yeah, I
have
just
been
wanted to
getting some
say
fan mail.
yes, yeah, we have.
We've been getting actually some text messages. It's
Woohoo!
so cool. I mean, I have the app on my phone, so I actually get like notifications when
Mhm.
people send in their live text, which is so wild because they would be sending them while they're listening. And I think
Yeah,
this is the
yeah.
whole point, is that
Right, right.
you're proactively, engaging with us as we're talking throughout the episode. So let me pull up some of our most recent ones. And sorry they're so delayed and when you hear these versus when you send them.
Yeah.
We usually are like 2 episodes ish ahead. So by the time that you're reacting to an episode, we usually don't get to actually address them until 2
Yeah,
episodes
until,
later.
like, 2 episodes later.
So
Yeah.
just wait for our reply. We'll get
Yes,
there.
yes.
Our last episode that we've been getting, like, fan mail on, or some text messages on, is about our true crime episode, and we have one from, I believe it's this Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. He says it's addressing like when someone goes missing for like 48 hours and how
Mhm.
involved like the police were in the investigation. He says that I think it's 48 hours after the incident is reported that investigators have before a trail risks going cold. It's
Mhm.
crazy, such a short time frame. These disappearances are so sad. And yeah, I agree. We talked about how it's wild that like they don't invest more time, but I guess with all of the different cases going on out there, I
Yeah.
guess it's understandable.
Yeah, and I think like for the ones that we did, they're unique because both of them were not in the United States. So,
Mhm.
the legalities of all that is very different. And one took place like in international waters, which is a
Mhm.
whole nother, like awful like hurdle to deal with because who has jurisdiction and all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really sad.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's wild. Another message is from JJB11590,
Hi,
or he just puts
JJB.
JJ and then he puts the
Hi,
rest of the stuff
JJ.
in parentheses. Hi, JJ.
You know what's
We
so
actually
funny? I have to
what?
share real quick,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
JJ always used to message us on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, no, JJ's not listening to our podcast anymore," because he's like I think he's like our number 1 listener, and then Mom's like, "Oh,
He's
no, he's been texting." Yeah, so
been
thank you for that, JJ.
Oh, because Anna doesn't get, like, the app
Yeah, I don't have the
messages,
app,
so
so yeah.
I when I get them, it's like, "Oh, it's JJ." He
Yeah.
said a couple. He mentioned he responded to for our true crime episode, and he said, "Yay for another true crime episode. Here's an idea for an upcoming pod. Since Halloween is around the corner and many of us will be likely buying candy for trick-or-treaters or secretly for ourselves to snack on, maybe you can have a social media poll on favorite Halloween candy to talk about on an upcoming segment."
Oh,
That's
that's a
that's
good
pretty
one.
neat.
You know what,
That's a
Mon?
good
Because
idea.
yeah, because Mon will do anything to get out of a spooky true crime episode because she does not like them. So I was actually right before we started recording this, I was thinking like, what can we do that's not gonna like freak you out? But maybe we could talk about like Halloween experiences or favorite candies and like costumes and stuff like that.
Very tame, very mild,
Thanks, JJ.
non-scary. Thank you, JJ. You're the best.
Love you.
He also responded to our other recent release is the movie book review
Mhm,
of It Ends With Us. And he was saying, "Oh, I seriously must be living under a rock. I haven't seen, I think he meant to
mhm.
say. I haven't seen or read any of the books or movies you were talking about in this episode. But on a side note, I listened to this episode while working, and I'd have to say I wouldn't be upset if you ever did a specialty series where maybe every month, in addition to your normal episodes, you both read a chapter or two of a book
What?
through completion, like an ASMR audiobook.
Oh
I'd
my
listen in. Are you
god.
serious? You'd listen to these voices?
Oh my god. My mind
We
instantly
should
went
do
to like,
Twilight.
oh my god. Oh my god.
He says that he has, at least in terms of like the episode, he has read most books and watched all of the Harry Potter series.
Mhm.
So, and then he text messaged again because he's still listening as he was like
Aw.
responding. He's like, I think I need to wait until I'm done with the pod before commenting. But I also have watched and read all of the Lord of the Ring books and movies. I'm a big Dan Brown fan, so I'd say if you haven't
Oh
read any of those
yeah, me
adaptations, go
too.
for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, that's awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
JJ.
much,
He
JJ.
is
Woo,
totally
he's
like
still listening.
you're so cool. You're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Those are always so awesome. So,
Yes.
if you want to like a special shout out like for Dave or for JJ, please send us a text
Yeah, we
message
super
about
appreciate
anything
it.
really.
Yeah.
Send us like ideas, like the poll thing, or I think that's
Yeah,
a good
because now
idea.
that's our Halloween episode.
So check out that Halloween poll and episode coming.
Yes.
That's gonna be an awesome one.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, okay.
All right.
So Anna,
All
wrap it
right.
up for us.
Okay. So don't forget to follow, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. We're on IG, Threads, YouTube, and let us know, like just like JJ did, what you want to see more of from us. And for those that are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It does a lot of things for our algorithm, and also even on
Mhm.
Instagram, like like liking our posts and the reels that we work really, really hard on. So yes.
Yes.
All right. So again,
Yeah.
thank you so much for,
Thank you.
listening to us, and you've probably got to know us a little bit more through
Mhm.
this episode and how we
Mhm.
were while we were growing up. So yeah. All right. So all All right, everybody. So till next time,
Stay OA.
in the best way. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh gosh, I was a nerd.